Yeah, just probably one of the if not the proudest wins in our 2 years here. Just to have completely shot ourselves in the foot against SMU, and to be as banged up and tired and sore and missing some key pieces of our team, and to go completely lay an egg again in the first half. We had our backs about as far against the wall as they could go. We were on life support, and our guys came out in the second half. It really wasn't even the second half. We fumbled the very first series on offense, and at that point, a lot of teams, a lot that I've been a part of, would have shut it down, would have quit, and it would have been a struggle to win many more ball games from this point forward. But was just extremely proud of our players and our coaches for teaching them how to respond to adversity. And so obviously we've got to correct the things that are correctable. Again, I alluded to it last week. We've got really great kids that are they're pleasers, they're perfectionists, and when adversity hits, they want to do it all, and that always just exacerbates the problem, and we're teaching them that daily, and I think the second half definitely reinforced what we're teaching them. Looking forward to this week, we needed it. I whenever I was asked about the four games in 19 days, 5 games in the month of September, if we were going to be able to withstand that, I said yes, obviously, but I was worried about the month of October, and it caught up to us a couple different times, and so we're going to rest. The kids had off yesterday. They will have off today, other than lifting weights. We'll practice tomorrow. It'll be, the high rep guys. We've got some guys that have played. We played 9 games. Some guys that have played over 800 game reps, just because of injury and lack of talented depth. And so our high rep guys will be very light in practice, which will give a chance for the 2s and 3s to get a lot of reps. Wednesday, we'll practice and start preparing for Tulane, practice again Thursday, and then give our guys Friday, Saturday off, and come back to work on Sunday as we normally do, and start preparing, continue to prepare to beat Tulane.
Take questions for Coach Tom Herman, please. Star 1 on your telephone keypad to join the queue. The operator will introduce you.
Our first question comes from Dan Tortora with WakeUpPaulDD.com.
Good afternoon, Coach. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Thanks for asking. You had made mention in the first half of this game against Central Florida. You said we were on life support after the first half, where you were down 21-3. Just what you can say about the locker room at halftime, and then being on life support, and then having that heartbeat in the second half to go a little bit deeper into it.
Yeah, we just, I think we all had a realization. I told our guys, enough's enough. Stop thinking. Stop being your own worst enemy. Just do what you're trained to do, and that will be enough. With fanatical effort and focus specific on you have a very specific job description when the ball is snapped, from snap to whistle, and that's only on average about 6 seconds, 5 to 6 seconds. And you take a deep breath. When the whistle blows, you get the play for the next play, and then you go focus on doing that job again. And you do, but you can't ever let up, and you can't lose focus, and you can't care about the scoreboard, and you can't care about whether the previous play was good or bad. I've got a specific job to do for 5 seconds. 5 seconds, as hard as I can do it, because I got a bunch of brothers in this locker room that are counting on me to do it. And for the first time in a few weeks, I think our guys finally did that. They finally stopped looking at the scoreboard, stopped listening to distractions, stopped getting in their own head, in terms of, trying to do too much and just focused on doing their job for 5 seconds at a time over and over and over again. And it paid off.
And when you talk about that, to stop getting in their own head, stop overthinking it and whatnot, what would you attribute that to? Was it a lot of listening to the outside? What was going on with the team where the focus was kind of being lost a little bit and there was overthinking of each play instead of just going out there 5 seconds to 5 seconds, like you said?
Again, I think we've got great kids, and they don't want to let people down, and they have goals and expectations, and when bad things happen, they want to be the hero. They want to be the guy that makes it all right, and I'd rather have that problem than a problem of guys that give no effort and guys that are defiant, or guys that don't go hard. So if you're going to have one of the two extremes of problems, I'd rather have this one, because we can teach them how to respond and how to get out of their own head and how to focus on each play. And so I think that's it. And I think, it's a confidence thing too. I think, human nature, again, we fight human nature all the time in this profession, in this sport. And it's human nature to say, uh-oh, here we go again. And, you got to fight that. And you got to fight that little voice in your head that's telling you that. And we got to give them the tools necessary on how to do that in terms of positive self-talk, in terms of focusing on your job, all of the things that I've alluded to. And then they've got to go apply those. And, again, I think for the first time in a long time, we did in the second half.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate that.
Yep, thank you.
Our next question comes from David Barron with the Houston Chronicle.
Tom, I believe that pretty much every FBS school in Texas now has a recent former Texas high school coach on his staff, including you with Coach Meekins. How important is that in terms of having someone on staff that can help you relate to recruits and recruit to relates on their own behalf and to recruit with high school coaches as well?
Yeah, I think a couple things. One, 8 of the 9 assists, so 9 of the 10 coaches, if you include myself, that we brought in on this staff had numerous years of experience recruiting the state of Texas. I think it's somewhere upwards of 150 some odd combined years just recruiting the state of Texas alone. So I think that is important as well. But the Corby and his relationship with the high school coaches, I think one is very important. He's very well respected in that community, and he's built very good and strong relationships with the high school coaches. But I think probably for me the biggest thing was one, he's also the only person on my staff that's ever been a head coach, so that I can bounce some head coaching ideas off of him, and two, he's been sitting behind the desk at a high school, and a lot of the things that we do in recruiting, whether it be from schedule to when we make phone calls to when we send letters, all of that we run by him, because I want to know who did it the best in his opinion, or what do they call it in business, best practices or whatever. Tell me every from every different area, like I said, from correspondence to visits to this, that, and the other, what was the best you've seen? Because you've seen way more than any of us, because you've seen basically every Division I school come in and out of your high school and recruit your kids. And so I think he gives us an added advantage there too, where he's seen really the best way to do things from a different perspective.
And what challenge do these coaches face in terms of adjusting to the different demands of a college job from a high school job?
Well, in the state of Texas, not much. Football, especially at the higher levels around here, is run very similarly to college programs. I think probably the only adjustment it is an adjustment. I don't know if it's the only one, but just being on the road recruiting. That's something that high school coaches don't have to do in the off season. There's spring practice and whatnot, but they go home. And for an entire month or 5 weeks in the spring, you're Monday through Friday, you're on the road away from your family. And, for the months of December and January, the same is true. And so I think that's probably the biggest adjustment. But from a time management standpoint, from a workload, I mean, it's the state of Texas, the high school coaches work just as long and just as hard as we do.
Thank you, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, thanks for giving us some time today. We look forward to hearing from you again next Monday.
All right, thank you.